Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are giving you our top 5 movies and or TV shows of July 2020. Let's get into it.
Alright, if you guys are new here, this is a series that we do where, like she said, we give our top 5 movies or TV shows that we've seen in the previous month. So this is our 3rd episode, so if you'd like to watch the first 2, we'll put a link in the description. So in this episode, we are obviously focusing on July. So she'll go first, starting with her number 5. And also, this is the thing where we want to give you guys 10 movies or TV shows. So if we have anything that overlaps, we will give another show or movie. So we're not going to have just the same ones.
So coming in at my number 5 is The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. It's about this family going on vacation with their friends and their children. While they are there, one night while the parents are across the fence eating at the restaurant, their daughter goes missing. She's 3 years old. Her name's Madeleine, obviously, hence the name of the title. It looks to be like somebody had broken into the house and took her out the window. So eventually down the line of the investigation, the parents become suspects in the investigation. I enjoyed this docuseries just because like I said in one of our other videos, I'm really into murder mystery shows, and this really caught my attention because there's it's a mystery, like nobody knows what happened to her, and usually cases are solved, but this one goes on for a long period of time. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Alright, so coming in at number 5 for me is Warrior Nun. It's on Netflix. It's just it's only been 1 season so far. It just came out this year. So basically what this one is about, which let me tell you guys, this month of watching stuff has not been the best, but it is what it is. So anyways, so this one is about an orphan teen that wakes up in a morgue. She's actually was dead, but she wakes up and she all of a sudden has like superpowers. And basically the show is about like these nuns that, it sounds very weird, but it's these nuns that basically hunt and kill demons. Yeah, it sounds weird, and it's not the greatest show. It's not a bad show. It's a pretty good show. The more you watch it, it gets more interesting. The show doesn't have the best writing, honestly. The fight scenes are pretty cool, and I think the actors have good chemistry. I think all that actors as a whole, it works really well. This is also a show that to me starts off a little slow. I think the first episode is fine, but then it kind of gets a little slow, like the first half of the season. But the second half of the season, it picks up and it kind of makes you want to see season 2. But yeah, it's not the best show. It's not the greatest show in the world, but it's not too bad.
So coming in at my number 4, it's Palm Springs. If you've watched our channel before, you would have seen our review on the movie. But basically, this is about a guy who is stuck in a time loop, and he just relives the same day over and over again. Eventually, he gets a girl stuck in the loop with him. So it turns into a romance comedy kind of film, and they just live every day basically inseparable with one another after she gets used to her day restarting over and over again. So once that period is over, then you actually get to really see her as a person, and you get to see both of them develop as characters in the film and grow closer to one another. There are other films that are related to this plot line, but what makes this different is like the little twists in the film, which made me enjoy it a little more than the other ones. And just because of the characters in the film, like they really fit together and made this movie come to be what it was.
Alright, so coming in number 4 is Fear City, New York versus the Mafia. It's a docuseries, it's on Netflix. And let me just start off with my one critique. My one critique is it should have been longer. I think they could have went more in depth in a few things, and yeah, it was only 3 episodes, so they're just, I don't know, it could have been longer in my opinion, but nonetheless, it was still really good. I enjoyed it. It's obviously about the Mafia, around the 70s and 80s. They clearly ran East Coast, or like New York and stuff, the 5 well-known families, and it's basically about how at one point in time, these federal agents obviously try to take them down. It kind of breaks down how they went about it in some crazy ways where like they pretended to be a phone company guy or something like that, or an internet guy. They were able to get into the house and plant wires and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so it goes through that. It also has people that were affiliated with the Mafia on there talking about different things and giving their perspective on stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. I recommend it for sure if you're into that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's Fear City, New York versus the Mafia. Like I said, it's on Netflix. Go check it out if you're interested.
So coming in at number 3 on my list, it's Father Soldier Son. It's on Netflix. This is about a single father who has 2 boys, and he is in the military, hence the soldier part of the title. He is placed in Afghanistan and he comes back to home. He comes back home for 2 weeks because it's his vacation time, and then he goes back and he gets severely injured and ends up not being able to go back to work for many years or at all. So in this film, we see the pain he goes through as well as him having to overcome the injury that he faced in Afghanistan. While seeing all of this, we get to see his family grow as a whole, as well as the misfortunes that his family unfortunately has to face. So my cousin actually showed me this film, and I'm really glad that I actually took time to watch this, just because we don't really see films about, like documentaries about people in the war, in the military. If you do check this documentary out, be prepared to cry, just because it's really sad what he has to go through and what his family has to go through. But I highly recommend this documentary to anyone who is willing to watch it.
All right, coming in number 3, we got Greyhound, starring Tom Hanks, exclusively streaming on Apple TV+. If you guys are interested in an actual review, we have it on this channel. We'll probably link it down below so you guys can check it out. But either way, this is, like I said, starring Tom Hanks during World War II, where he is, like I said, it's obviously starring Tom Hanks. He's a Navy captain during World War II. He's in charge of leading an Allied convoy across the Atlantic Ocean. As that's going on, German U-boats are surrounding him and the rest of the convoy, and yeah, it turns into a battle. The critiques that I did have for this film is that I don't feel like it really captured you in a way, like emotionally for the most part, because there's no really storytelling going on, and you don't really get to know the characters really well. Not even Tom Hanks' character, the main character. You kind of don't know anything about anybody. But if you're still into war movies, or just like you like action and stuff, this is definitely a good film for that. It's just, there's just something missing. Nonetheless, it's still a good film. And yeah, it comes in number 3 for me, and I think you should check it out.
So my number 2 is The Kissing Booth 2, the second one. It came out this year. So basically in this film, it goes off with the first one with Al, the main character, having to deal with a long-distance relationship with Noah, her boyfriend, who is going to college while she is still in high school. Her boyfriend's brother is her best friend. They grew up together, and she always hung out with him until she got with Noah. So she has to learn how to deal with being in a long-distance relationship, as well as having to deal with the doubts that she has of Noah possibly cheating with another girl. So while all this is going on, her best friend Lee has a girlfriend, and he is trying to learn how to balance his best friend with his girlfriend, because the girlfriend feels like he's spending so much time with her and always inviting herself, or she's always inviting herself with everything that they do, and he just doesn't have the heart to like tell her like, you need to like stop hanging out with us all the time or whatever. So he fakes an injury so he can spend more time with his girlfriend. So there's obviously a lot more that goes in this film, but I don't want to give it all away. So I'll let you go watch the trailer. It'll be linked down below. I enjoyed this one just because, well, I didn't think I would enjoy this as much as I actually did. It took me a while to watch the first one. I had just watched it recently, but this was actually right up my alley, even though I didn't think it was, just because I feel like I'm more into like the teen drama kind of shows. The only thing is that if you've seen Gypsy Rose, Joey King is the main character in that film and in this film. The only thing is that I continuously thought of Gypsy Rose just because I had seen that film before this one. But don't let that get in the way if you've seen that, because this is a good film overall.
All right, so coming in at number 3 is going to be the movie Relic. All right, so Relic is a horror film that came out in 2020. It is about this lady that goes with her daughter to visit her mom. She's worried about her because she's already had some health issues like dementia and stuff like that. So while they're there, there's weird things that happen. So throughout the film, there ends up being a link that goes to the old lady's mental state deteriorating and the physical world around her, like her house and everything else deteriorating as well. It's a very weird movie, and it's not very scary in like the traditional sense you would think of like a scary movie with like jump scares or crazy like killer or something like that. It's nothing to do with that. It's more of just a creepy vibe. Also, it's kind of sad in the sense of like how they portray dementia and stuff happening, because they do it into the real world and shows like how things are deteriorating and kind of what happens in someone's mind. But the movie's pretty good. It's not a bad film. We actually have a review on this channel as well. My main issue with this film is mostly that it's not the best film if you're looking at it on a surface level. It's like it's okay. If you understand the deeper meaning behind the film, then it definitely makes the film better, because they did do a really good job at portraying it and doing it kind of metaphorically. So yeah, I advise you guys to check it out and see if you can understand it and give your thoughts on it. But that's going to be the movie Relic. Oh yeah, and Palm Springs is also on my list, coming in number 2. But since Nicole used it...
Lastly, the first movie on my top 5 list is Unsolved Mysteries. These are my shows to watch. These are my shows. I think my grandma got me into these shows just because we would always watch NCIS and 48 Hours when I was growing up. So this show takes you along 10 different unsolved cases, some solved in as little as 5 to 6 years, going all the way to taking over 30 years to solve. It takes you along victims of all ages, from a young age all the way to like 50 or something like that. So it's about these cases that go cold, that are never solved, and a new investigator taking over the case and actually solving the cold case. In the beginning of each episode, they do give you a disclaimer saying that about maybe 1% gets solved of the cold cases. But as I was watching 3 of these episodes, I was like, I already know who the killer is based off of the information they give you. And at the end, I was right on who it was. But obviously, when you're in the moment, you don't really see all of the evidence together. I highly recommend this series to anybody who is into mysteries, murder mysteries, or murder in general. So let's go to Matt to see what his number 1 is.
All right, so coming in at number 1 is going to be Greatness Code. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's a docuseries that is super, super short. I think every episode is under like 7 minutes or under 10 minutes, something like that. So it's very short. It's a sports documentary or docuseries that has to deal with different athletes, basically telling one moment in their career where they felt greatness, pretty much. And it's cool because they do it in a unique way with the illustrations and the animation that they put on screen for each athlete. It's all different, and the stories that the athletes choose are also very interesting because they're not the ones that you would expect. And they also got all the GOATs, pretty much. Like, everyone that they got for this docuseries is one of the best athletes to ever do it in their sport. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like just seeing their perspective on things that they had done in their career. There's only 1 season. Like I said, they're super short, so I'm pretty sure you can watch the whole season in like an hour or maybe even a little less. I think it's worth it. Like I said, it's on Apple TV Plus. But yeah, that's Greatness Code. I suggest you guys check it out if you're into sports. So like we said in the last episode, we're going to be splitting apart our accounts, because before we had it where we would just put them all together. So like if she watched 3 shows from Netflix, I watched 2, we would just put Netflix 5. But now we're going to give her account separate, my account separate. So at the end of the year, we can see individually which streaming services I guess we enjoyed the most based on the count. So we're going to go ahead and do hers first.
So here's an updated count for my list of the streaming services. So we have Apple at 2, Netflix at 12, jumping up from 8, Hulu at 3, jumping up from 2, HBO Max stays at 1, and Quibi stays at 1.
All right, so here's the updated list from me. Apple is adding 2 more, coming in at 5. Netflix is adding 2 more as well, coming in at 6. Hulu is going to stay at 4. HBO Max is going to stay at 1.
So as you guys can tell, my count, if you add my counts up, it's going to be higher than his counts because he has had movies on this episode and in the past that don't fall under any streaming services. So that's why our numbers aren't going to equal up to the same amount.
But anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, if you guys are interested in the episode 1 or episode 2, we'll put a link down below. Comment down below if you've seen any of these movies or TV shows. Let us know your thoughts on them. Also, you can drop your top 5 in the bottom if you like. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. My name is Matt.
My name is Nicole.
And we'll catch you next time.